Some 7 tips that can help you when you're facing a situation of a pay cut. Number 1, understand the origin of the pay cut. Understand the genesis of the pay cut. In many cases, your employer will communicate to you that owing to changes in our business environment, we are no longer able to sustain paying your salaries the way we have been doing. When you seek to understand the genesis, you begin to eliminate malice in the decision to have you people get a pay cut. When you seek to understand the genesis, you begin to feel that this is as a result of what has happened. It is circumstantial and not victimization. Number 2, seek to understand the nature of your pay cut. When your employer says that you will face a pay cut, seek to know the nature. Broadly, a pay cut will either be permanent or temporary. If the employer communicates that it's going to be a permanent pay cut, and where they don't communicate, please ask them the nature of the pay cut. If it's permanent, then you begin to prepare your mind. If the pay cut is temporary, like is the case in many cases, especially for businesses that have been affected by COVID, then you begin to also tell your mind that this situation is temporary. Number 3, you need to accept reality. Reality is here with you that a pay cut has happened. Your employer has communicated, you've received the letter. The most common thing for every average person is to go into denial. All of us go into denial. But how long you stay in denial will differentiate those that wake up, stand up, and begin moving, and those that remain in a fallen state. Number 4, be thankful for what you have. You know, it could have been worse. If we rank what has happened to people, we have people who still have their full salary. Then below them, we have those who are taking a pay cut, like you. So if you're facing a situation of a pay cut, you are at a better position. You are not the worst, because worse things have happened to people. Below you, we have those that have gone on unpaid leave, where the employer is not able to pay them. They haven't lost their jobs, but they have been forced into taking an unpaid leave. So they're staying at home, at least with the knowledge that they still have their jobs, but they have nothing financial coming their way. So you are at a better position. Then below those ones, we have those that have completely lost their jobs. So you have a lot to be thankful for. Now, there is a magic that being thankful does to people. When you take a moment to thank God for what He has done in your lives, when you take a moment to enumerate the things that have happened positively around you, then you begin to create a positive environment. You begin to expel negativity from your space. So even if you are feeling low about the news of the pay cut, you begin to find yourself having a new lease of life. When you begin to remember someone who is on unpaid leave, when you begin to remember someone who has lost their job. Number 5, it is important that you also involve your immediate family members. Those people that depend on you, or those people that you are doing life together with. It's important that you come clean to them and inform them of what has happened. Number 1 is because those people form your support system. They will be your first line of support when you are faced with such a situation. They will encourage you. If it's your spouse, for instance, if they are economically active, then the two of you can now sit down and begin to find ways of adjusting, put in mind what you have from your spouse and from yourself. So it's important that you let them in. Number 2, letting them in on what has happened will also be able to manage their expectations. Remember, in a family setting, people have expectations on you based on the standards you've set. And in many cases, you set those standards based on what your income has looked like. So when your income is being lowered, it's important that you communicate to them so that then you can be able to manage the expectations, so that you do not go into a situation where your stress levels begin to increase because they're still making demands based on your previous position, yet your supply level has been reduced. Number 6, it's important to ask for help when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you cannot be able to handle the reality of the news of a pay cut, if you feel that you are stressed and your stress is being sustained for long, if you feel that you are anxious and your anxiety is staying with you for long, it's important that you seek professional help. And lastly, it's important that you take it to God in prayer. When you're faced with situations like this that you cannot handle, it is only God that will help us bear our burdens, those that seem so heavy on us. It is Him who will give us the grace to handle the information about a pay cut. It is Him who will give you the strength to handle it. It is Him who will make that situation more temporary than even what your employer has spoken to you. It is Him who will open other doors. So, always remember to bring it to God in prayer.